Jim ZELTER, co-president of Apollo. Jim, if we think about Apollo, everybody knows the name. We all know you do fancy stuff. I especially know Apollo as a private equity fund. You know, you are very conscious of price. That's one thing people know. You obviously helped building the credit platform. You know the whole story, and you know you've been at the business now for a long time. Can you explain a little bit, just like to get everybody on the same page, the setup of Apollo? What do we need to know about you guys?
Sure. Well, thank you. Great conference. Great opportunity to see a lot of people, friends. So let's just level set. You know, we love the private equity business. We've been in it for 33 years. But just to level set on Apollo today, I'll just give you a couple numbers. Of our $600 billion today, or year end, basically 300 comes from the GP-LP model. And arguably that has a higher cost of capital, which I'll get to. And the other $300 billion is from the retirement services side of our business, which is really Athene in the US and Athora in Europe. And that has a very different demand on its liability. It's really fixed annuities. So that's the $600 billion today. 300 from the GP-LP business, 300 from the retirement services business. The other way to look at our business is, you know, the traditional private equity is around $100 billion. You know, that's a business that we love, but it's scalable, but it's not a growth business. You invest, you harvest, you rinse and repeat, you do it again and again. So that's about $100 billion. Our last fund's $20 billion, which we just closed, Fund 10. We have about $75 billion in real assets, infrastructure, real estate, mostly debt versus equity. And the biggest part of our business is our credit business. That's over $400 billion today, or $420 billion. And I keep coming back to the real, what we think differentiates our model are a few things. One is the permanent nature of half of our assets, which is very, very important. The second is the low cost of those assets, low cost of those liabilities, which is arguably today 4 to 5% for long tail liabilities. And that makes us much more relevant in terms of lending and providing companies with solutions. Secondly, you know, we really have this view that alignment. You know, the proverbial eat our own cooking. Half of our assets is really our capital. And so every investment we make, you know, half of that capital is our own capital. And the philosophy of alignment in terms of really focusing on reward for a unit of risk, that's universal to all of our businesses.